favorite podcast. They offer a place to unwind or to go all out. With nearly 100 miles to explore, Cary's natural beauty needs to be discovered around every turn. Our greenways connect us to our parks, our neighbors, and all throughout the triangle. And we celebrate these connections this year, as we do every year, by stepping onto the greenway and seeing where it takes us.
NCFC looks strong out there in their pregame warm-ups. To help us start off this flex cam, we've got Ben from Shaw University. Let's see it.
Football Club in the town of Cary welcome you to Wakeford Soccer Park for tonight's match between NCFC and Greenville Triumph FC, presented by Paragon Theaters. Wakeford Soccer Park and the North Carolina Football Club promote good sportsmanship by athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the athletes and officials in a positive manner. Visual and verbal statements based on biases in politics, gender, age, race, faith, ethnicity, or sexual orientation, or any other intimidating actions directed at officials, athletes, coaches, team representatives, and other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the stadium. Please refrain from throwing objects on the playing field, blowing whistles, and interfering with the game. Spectators caught engaging in such actions will be removed from the premises and possibly arrested. Thank you for joining us tonight and enjoy the action. Here's tonight's starting lineup for Greenville Triumph SC. Please welcome their captain, number 9, Aaron Walker. In goal, number 99, Jared Mazzola. Number 22 is Nathaniel Schultz. Number 13, Noah Frunk. Number 15, Brandon Fricky. Number 12 is Evan Lee. Number 9, Liam McKinnon. Number 5, Noah Pilato. Number 23, Alan Gavilanes. Number 24 is Kevin Shaw. And number 25, Leonardo Castro. The Triumph are led by head coach John Hart and assistant coaches Nicholas Luke and Rick Wright. Here tonight's officials, please welcome referee Christian Campo Hernandez. Assistant referee Kevin Hewitt, assistant referee Kyle Averill, and our fourth official this evening is Arnell Selman. Presenting tonight's match ball are members of the Centro Para Familias Hispanas. We're celebrating the program's 25 years of serving the Hispanic community in Wake County. Centro Para Familias Hispanas a program of Catholic Charities of the Diocese of Raleigh, serves family in need by offering emergency assistance, immigration legal services, disaster services, case management, and adult and children's educational classes. Last year, they impacted the lives of more than 12,000 individuals. Thank you, Centro para Familias Hispanas, for your long history of serving the Raleigh community.
Saturday night USL League One action, Cary, North Carolina, WakeMed Soccer Park, and we got a good one. The first place North Carolina FC, your home team, taking on the Greenville Triumph, the hottest team in USL League One, flying high with only one loss in their last 11 games. North Carolina FC and Greenville Triumph SC. Alongside the great Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke as we get you set for this one. North Carolina FC kind of gave two away in their last game against Richmond, but when we look at the standings for USL League One, they're still right up there, and Greenville so hot now in the top six.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a gap opening up between 6th and 7th where you see that playoff line, those top 6 teams really kind of pushing forward now and coming into form. Obviously with North Carolina sitting top, coming off the back of 3 away performances where they picked up 7 points and in really good form.
We once again have to put the spotlight on Olex Anderson Jr. He was just named the USL League One Player of the Month for July.
And I've been noticing assistant coach Mike McGinty's really pushing him to put a G in front of the O and calling him Goalex Anderson. He's currently second in the Golden Boot race. He's got 11 goals, second most in USL League One. The 26-year-old St. Vincent and the Grenadines international, but a really hot talent and someone who is in the form of their life.
Meanwhile, on the other side for Greenville Triumph, it's a 34-year-old that's getting it done.
Yeah, in the golden years of his career, Leonardo Castro, he's a fantastic player, got a lot of experience in South Africa for the Kaiser Chiefs, big club there. He's played in Peru and Bolivia, and his first season in USL League One, you see he's got 4 goals in his last 3 games, and he's currently tied with Terzaghi in the Golden Boot race in 3rd with 10, so he's having a great season.
Of course, the Greenville Triumph, one of the great programs in USL League One, led by a U.S. Soccer Hall of Famer, member of the 90 and 94 U.S. World Cup team, John Harkes. We'll have John Bradford's starting lineup for North Carolina FC. It's North Carolina FC and the Greenville Triumph. Stay with us.
Bring home 7 days of savings with daily deals from The Fresh Market. Shop Mondays for buy one get one free deals, including mouth-watering bacon and crab cakes. Tuesdays get chuck and chicken for just $3.99 per pound. Wednesdays save on shrimp and sashimi tuna. And shop Thursdays for tasty, easy meals under $10, including $7 pizzas. Then grab our 3-day weekend deals on the best meat and seafood, like gourmet burgers, lobster tails, and more. Don't wait to save. Shop The Fresh Market today.
With a brood like that to take care of, WakeMed Urgent Care ought to come in handy. We're everywhere you are, so accessing the care they need when they need it is easy. Soccer star? Covered. Your kids? Your baby? Done. The biggest baby of all? Virtual urgent care to the rescue. Now how convenient is that? Download the WakeMed All Access app today and take care of everyone in the family, including you-know-who.
Weldon Mills Distillery, born from the rich heritage of North Carolina. We craft some of the finest bourbon and spirits that are destined to be discovered by the world. There are no shortcuts to excellence, and that's why our mantra is simple. Never let efficiency get in the way of excellence. The foundations of our spirits are sourced right here in North Carolina, and our commitment to excellence has led to our continued growth and expansion. We are proud to offer a broad portfolio of brands that will stand the test of time.
Welcome back to WakeMed Soccer Park, home to North Carolina FC, who early this week, big news saying that next year they're headed back to USL Championship, but they still want to win USL League One. They got a big game against Greenville Triumph. Let's take a look at John Bradford's starting lineup for North Carolina FC.
That's going to be the typical 4-4-2 for the home side. You got Brooks Thompson in goal, Christian Lou Young, Gustavo Fernandez, David Garcia, and Nelson Flores Blanco across the back. Lou Young coming back into the lineup. He missed out in midweek, but he'll slot right back in at that right back spot and do a great job. In midfield, we've got the engine room of Somersault and Maldonado, the creativity of Rafa and Luis Perez, and then Anderson and McLaughlin up top, the dynamic duo. We talked about them in the open, and there's some goals there up top, Dean.
And the starting lineup for John Hart's Greenville Triumph SC.
And they are unchanged from their last time out against Charlotte Independence, where they were at home and they managed to grind out a 3-2 win against their local rivals. Look for Leo Castro to have a big game. He got 2 in that game against the Independents, but that experienced back three and the experience in midfield could be a problem for the home side today.
The Greenville Triumph SC in green. You see Walker with the captain's armband. They lost their first 4 games of the season. I asked John Hartz about that. They had 9 injuries. They were playing academy players, had to get through it, and now, as we mentioned, only 1 loss in their last 11. They are red hot.
Yeah, you're not used to seeing Greenville outside the playoffs, are you? They've certainly, we didn't see them for a while, but they're back in where they belong, and they're showing their quality as an organization and as a side. So Coach John Hartz always finds a way. 2 runners-up medals and a winner's medal in his time with the club.
Yeah, they've just been incredible, and we're underway. Greenville Triumph SC and North Carolina FC, USL League One action on a Saturday night. Stay with us at halftime. We'll have more on that exciting announcement for North Carolina FC to jump back up next year to USL Championship right here at the beautiful WakeMed Soccer Park. Alongside Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you. Greenville Triumph MC and their familiar their familiar green. North Carolina FC, some new kits, and they're hot, they're awesome.
I love them, yeah, really nice sharp look. The all white with that little blue design.
Nelson Flores Blanco coming in from his left back spot. This will be dropped over to Rafa. Rafa started out hot to start the season and is hot again, really playing well, as that'll go off of Rafa and it'll come back to Greenville Triumph SC. They're led in goal by Jared Mazzola, who John Hartz could not say enough good things about him when I talked to him earlier today, and then I heard Mr. USL Brian Ware telling you about him. He's in a little trouble right there. He's had a good season.
Yeah, they've given up a lot of shots this year. Obviously, we talked about that early start to the season with a lot of injuries and academy players. He's been tested throughout, but he's come up big in a lot of the games, kept them in it, and obviously a lot of tight games recently where they've managed to find the results, and he's been a key component to that.
There's Shaw, number 24. Biggest thing with Shaw in his career is just staying healthy, and John says when he is fit and out there, he just makes such a difference sitting right in front of that back three. A little pressure here. Olex Anderson Jr. on the turn and denied. He had a drone delivery of his USL League One Player of the Month. Check that out on social media. That was pretty cool, Andrew. And he almost delivered the first goal of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. What a chance. Does really well to wriggle away from the Greenville defender. And I think Luis Perez was trying to say to his teammate there, you just lay it to me, buddy, and I can score. But good luck trying to get the ball from one of the hottest players in USL League One at the moment.
Olex Anderson Jr. making the game look easy. Rafa, a little bit too long. Let's take another look at that opportunity here, Andrew.
Yeah, just a little bit of indecision there from Evan Lee. Somersault does really well just to stick a foot out, and Anderson, he's just such a wriggly character, low to the ground, manages to get around his opponent, and it's one of them, he's anywhere but hitting straight at the keeper, and it's a goal. That's Mazzola, we talked about it, Dean, didn't we? Coming up big.
Yeah.
Right position.
But like you said, it was Golex who almost got one right there. So that's what Coach McGinty's going with, huh? That's got some legs, I think.
I like it, yeah. I mean, his parents named him brilliantly. You know, he had to be a striker.
Let's take a look at the injury here.
Just a painful one. Both players, I think, going for the ball there, but Garcia definitely catches him in an uncomfortable area.
David Garcia, as the captain, Daniel Navarro, still out. John Bradford did say, though, he's getting closer to being back. You have to give Garcia and Fernandez credit for being solid back there, because Navarro has been such a key part of this resurgence for this team.
And, you know, John Bradford's team, I think the squad, it just gets better all the time. You've got competition now off the bench with Tor Saunders back in the equation. You've got Luke Kroll, who was a big signing from the offseason, but hasn't been able to stay fit and get into the lineup. So competition for places.
Brooks Thompson, the newest goalkeeper for North Carolina FC. He's about 6'3". John Bradford really likes his range. He's got long arms, big wingspan. It was like getting a Jay Billis scouting report on Thompson yesterday. You kind of want that. I mean, we've seen Noah Fitzgerald and others, you know, small goalkeepers, but you kind of want some size.
I think any short goalkeeper would tell you they want some size, Dean. So, yes, if you can have it, you're not going to turn it down. But, yeah, he's a very imposing figure. Obviously, he's young, learning his trade, but this is his home debut today and yet to get a clean sheet, so we'd love to get it his first time out here at Wakeman Soccer Park.
Akira Fitzgerald is who I met. John Bush, also one of those smaller goalkeepers that had a great career. Ronnie Pascal for the Richmond Kickers, not huge, but a fantastic goalkeeper. So you don't have to be big, but throw in here for Greenville. They like the three-back system quite a bit, Andrew.
We see it more and more, I think, every week. You know, teams go into it. I know Coach John Bradford toyed with it last year, hasn't really gone to it this year. I think he's got such pace and athleticism in the attacking areas where he wants to keep them on the front foot as opposed to asking them to do the full length of Wakeman Soccer Park, which is a tall ask.
North Carolina Courage off this weekend as we all get to enjoy the Women's World Cup. Congratulations to your England team, and how about Australia? How cool is that? That's just going to be an incredible game.
I'm not Australian, I'm not French, but I was struggling to watch those penalties, Dean. The pressure on the players is just, you've got such an appreciation for the spot they're in, and sometimes you're looking at them stepping up and taking the penalties with just terror in their eyes, or you can't tell whether it's just terror and focus or just absolute sheer adrenaline. But yeah, really, really good to see Australia, the home nation, get through to the next round. This always makes the event all the more special.
Well, I thought you were spot on as we're at zeros here in talking about the England-Colombia game. It felt like there were more Colombians there than England fans, but it was packed. It was great to see both of them packed, as you feel like, you really do feel like the whole world is looking in on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the World Cup's just such a great event. I mean, I think I was just talking about it to my wife and son today, and my son said, Australia's a country, so straight away there's educational elements to it as well. I don't know what he thought it was, but yeah, he now knows it's his own country.
Summersaw called for the foul. I like what you said about Summersall and Maldonado as you broke down the lineup, as those two are really starting to be cohesive there in the middle.
Yeah, they're like Batman and Robin, right? I think Maldonado's Batman and Raheem's Robin, but they get around the field. They've got athleticism. There's an understanding that they've built there. The big one for me, Mikey Maldonado, from day one when he's walked into this organisation, he's been brilliant. And the one that I think really impressed me is just Raheem Summersall coming back from the Gold Cup or whatever. He's just come back looking like a different player. He looks fit. He looks fresh. Covers the ground, and he's attacking and defending. He's doing it all, which is not easy to do on this big pitch out at Wakemed Soccer Park.
As part of the congratulations with the news that will break down even more at halftime of going to USL Championship, congratulations to John Bradford, who's pretty much now done it all for this club with NCFC youth, working his way up, continues to oversee the incredible academy, has been a part of this process, and now we have the opportunity to lead the team. And like I said earlier, he'd like to lead it in there with the USL League One title, right?
Yeah, what a way to sign off that would be. A long way to go, obviously, but everything's positive that's coming out of the club right now. And the one word that I thought about when they made that move post-COVID to USL League One, it was sort of a reset, right? Some people talked about it dropping down, but it was a reset. It was a chance to connect the growth of the club and get the youth sort of firing. And there's been such growth and development from all aspects of the professional youth side from that movement. So great to see him taking another forward step.
Trying to connect with McLaughlin here. McLaughlin's got a great motor. McLaughlin by himself, and denied right there as Mazzola gets his hand on it to parry it away.
And it's a great ball from his strike partner, Golex Anderson. Threads it through the eye of a needle. McLaughlin here, he wants to get on his favourite right foot, but he even threw me for a loop here as he shifts it to his left. And he's looking for that near top corner, but Mazzola stays big and gets a really good paw to it. A great play between that dynamic duo up top.
They've started to count. I think that's 3 Golexes already.
Corner's following Coach McGinty's lead. He's leading the charge.
I love it. Corner kick, North Carolina FC. Rafa rips it in there. We'll stay with North Carolina FC. Greenville Triumph, one of the founding members of USL League One. They currently play their games on the campus of Furman University. Nelson Flores Blanco thought there was a handball, and John Bradford did as well. If you've seen the news, John Hart's actually missed their last game, a big win for Greenville with some health concerns. He did tell me that we can share that he has been having some blood clot issues, which is something you can never mess around with, and you definitely can't fly. And his beautiful wife, Cindy, who also played at Virginia, didn't even really want him to drive, but he's feeling a little bit better, and day by day they'll keep an eye on it, but he will not be going on some of the longer road trips coming up just for safety first. And John Hart's the true legend for U.S. soccer, and you never want to mess around with anything like that.
No, it's a health first, right? Health and family first. He missed the last game at Charlotte, but it's great to see him back here in an environment which he loves. I went back and watched an interview with him, Dean, when he first kind of got announced as the head coach of Greenville, and just his love for the game just pours out of him. He's talking about just wanting to see the growth of the game and in professional soccer in this country, and it's certainly happening.
He truly was the pioneer, right? I mean, he was on the field in '89 when they were in Trinidad and won that game with the goal from Paul Caligiuri to send them to their first World Cup in 40 years, and a key part of that '94 team that made it to the round of 16 before falling to Brazil. He actually deserves a shot at MLS. I think Greenville would like to keep him, but you look at what he did at FC Cincinnati, before some sort of departure, but I mean, he built that program, and now that place is amazing. Deserves a lot of credit there. And then to have Greenville there every single year, like you said, I mean,
yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, and that was the fun thing. So building a program from the ground up is really, really tough. But he's definitely got something with Greenville, and it seems like it's a good fit. I completely agree, Dean. Like, he's proven himself at this level. You'd love to see him get another crack at back in that MLS level side of things, you know.
Here's Schultz. Frankie. They've got quite a few players that have been a part of this 5-year run. They do have some new players, but he has kept quite a few of them here together. "15 returning members from last year. 3 players, Polak, Lee, and Walker, have been with them all 5 years. Here comes Greenville Triumph SC, trying to get in the 18. Castro missed it. Rafa's got it now. Rafa Menzigan puts Rafa on the back of his shirt and likes to go by Rafa. Olex Anderson Jr. looking for the whistle, doesn't get it. They'll play on. Squared. Good opportunity. Shot from long distance. And good work by Thompson to get his hands on it. I think that may have found its way in if he didn't.
Yeah, it's an awkward one because it's bouncing right in front of him. Walker just feeds it inside. Lots of space. Good strike with the left. You see that just skip right in front of him. Gets his hand behind it. Steers it wide of the goal. Referees let a few of those decisions go, though, Dean, in this opening 15 minutes or so here. And maybe some referees are on top of him. He's let some contact sort of go, and for both teams, I'd say.
Corner kick, 15 minutes in. Greenville. Left-footed corner. Thompson. Puts his hand on it. Greenville will run it down. They try to send it back in. Good effort defensively by North Carolina FC. Running it down was David Garcia. Now a free kick. Foul called on Perez.
It's in a really good area, as you can see. 3 or 4 of them arguing over who's going to take it. Pallato's the one that puts it down, though. Gavilan in the area as well. So just a neat little touch from Pallato in there, I think, to set up that little opportunity. A lot of bodies in front of Brooks Thompson, the goal.
Mazzola is at midfield. Giving some instructions to his team. And he's almost past the midfield line, the goalkeeper for Greenville Triumph.
I'm wondering if he's passing on some instructions on where to hit this.
Walker basically said, "This is mine." Ooh. Thompson had that one read, pulled his arms back. It'll be a corner kick for Greenville.
Nelson Flores doing his job there as the draft excluder, as it just flicks off his legs as he's lying on the ground. Almost an awkward one for Brooks Thompson, though, because it was a bunch of topspin on it.
Yeah, well said, Andrew. More than almost.
Yeah.
He even kind of alligator armed it at the last moment, and I was worried that it was going to slip in there.
Memories of the Columbia goal today, where there was a deflection that just looped over the goalkeeper's head.
Well said. Exactly. Yeah. 17 minutes in. Looped around. Thompson. That left foot from Devanius is pretty good. I mean, he's looking for Olympicals almost off those corner kicks.
And he puts it right in a good area, doesn't he? Ask the question of the goalkeeper. A lot of bodies in there. Certainly not easy to deal with, but credit to North Carolina. They've survived a couple of tasty balls into the box.
Long here by Mazzola, and a collision there. And they're going to call that against North Carolina FC as Fernandez takes down Castro. And I thought he was going to get a card, but they're just going to mark the spot. He did throw his arm. That was why he did the ooh, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not far away from the penalty box either. His hands are just a little high there. I don't think he's intending to push Castro in the face, but his hands are up. And Castro's been around the game. He knows what he's doing, the big man. He knows how to win a foul in a good area. But you're right, Dean, I'm surprised the yellow card didn't come there. You've got your hands up in someone's face, you make a bit of contact. There's another good set-piece opportunity for Greenville.
Second time 3 players have been around the ball. The last time it was hilarious because Walker just finally said, I'm taking this. And it was dangerous as it went off. Nelson Flores Blanco, as you said, he was laying down behind the wall there. Here we go, little trickery, and be another corner kick as Greenville has had a lot of the ball here to start. First 20 minutes, I feel like they've had at least 60% of the ball here.
Yeah, they've thrown the ball in the box a lot, had some set pieces, but the best chances have fallen to North Carolina. You think of Garrett McLaughlin's chance earlier, and even before that in the opening few minutes. Alex Anderson hitting Jared Mazzola from point-blank range when you thought he was going to get another goal to add to his tally.
Whistle here, and they'll do it again.
Yeah, there's a lot of jostling going on around the goalkeeper. I can see Coach John Bradford for North Carolina FC looking a little concerned about some of the bumping that was going on in there as you're trying to impede the goalkeeper from getting a good run at it. And Greenville do have 6 goals from set pieces on the season, so a good return so far.
Thompson's been busy. Thompson's there. Again, slaps it with one hand. Some of those I'd like to see him take in with 2 hands and just pull out of the air.
Modern day goalkeeper. This was really strange what I thought today in the Columbia game with the backup goalkeeper came in and it was right in the breadbasket, Dean, and opted to punch it away. Sometimes your mind says punch, and I think sometimes you're right, Dean, just catch it. Let everyone take a breath, get out of the box.
Yeah, I mean, the field's upside down this way right now in favor of Greenville. 21st minute. North Carolina FC felt like they gave 2 points away as Richmond scored late to tie them in their last game. Here's the transition. John Hartz was concerned about this. He had high praise for the transition attack for North Carolina FC. It's hard not to if you watch them play. Alex Anderson Jr. drops it down, and the shot there from Perez. And he included Perez. I mean, he didn't just say Olex and Garrett. I mean, he talked about Rafa and Perez as being a key part of it.
Yeah, it's a front four, isn't it, almost, with the support that they offer. It's a great touchdown from Olex, and every time Luis Perez steps onto the ball, you know it's going to be a sweet strike, and really impressed to see Jared Mazzola hold that with some soft hands there. Wouldn't have been a surprise to see him give up a second chance opportunity, but really does well there to allow his team to take a breath.
Summersaw. Shaw. Thought he got it clean, but they'll give it back to North Carolina FC.
I think I'd have to agree with him. It seemed like he'd read it well and came on the correct side. Sticking really close to Raheem Summersaw, making it uncomfortable for the home team to play out.
Right side, Lou Young to Perez. Perez, great ball to McLaughlin. McLaughlin thought Nelson Flores Blanco or Rafa, either one, were making the run, but neither one were there. Really a rare mistake for McLaughlin. He's so tidy, really good player. Great year last year, and not the same goal production, but still been an effective player.
Yeah, I think he's just such a great character to have around the team. Never shirks his responsibility. A little down-to-earth fella as well.
Battle. Castro, 34 years young. And finally gets the foul there. So North Carolina FC will have it.
I think those two are going to be going at it all day, Dean. Won't be surprised if they don't both pick up yellows today, because they are tussling.
Select is the official match ball supplier of USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Knocked out of bounds by Greenville. Quick throw in for Lou Young. Over to Perez. Perez fouled. John Bradford, John Hart's actually have a great relationship. But John Bradford actually reached out to John when he heard about the health issues and had a little chat, and they both know these teams really, really well. I mean, it's kind of fascinating because when I talk to the coach, you probably do the same thing, is after we kind of break down what John Bradford's going to do, I'll ask him about Greenville and get his thoughts. And then when I hear John talk about Greenville, it sounds like the same. And then when I ask John about North Carolina FC, John Hart, it sounds exactly like what John Bradford's saying.
Yeah, they've got the inside scoop on each other, and there's a great respect, I think, between both coaches, right?
That's the word.
Yeah.
Even before the game, there was a little snafu on the 23 names, and normally they would be really stringent, but because John Bradford and John Hart's that great respect, they were able to say, hey, it was an honest mistake, and we're able to add a name in there. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Mistakes happen, right? Recognizing that you could be on the other end of that decision next time, so put out good karma into the world, hopefully it comes back.
Well, you nailed it, because he actually said, well, what would happen if it was the other end, on the other side, and you know, how would I want to handle it? So, well said.
You know, both good characters, right? And I think that's what you want to see, good characters have success in the game, and it's certainly happening for these fellas. So
Walker, really good player.
And this was a similar story, Dean, in the earlier game in South Carolina. The Greenville had over 60% of the possession, but it was North Carolina got the 3 points with a 2-1 win. And you've seen a lot of possession for Greenville today.
Castro played it back to Frankie. Frankie's cross headed out by North Carolina FC. This one missed hit and will go out of bounds over near the North Carolina FC subs. "27 minutes in, alongside the great Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you on ESPN Plus for USL League One action. First place, North Carolina FC, and Greenville Triumph SC, who started the season with those 9 injuries, lost their first 4 games. They've only lost 1 in their last 11, and now they're in the top 6. That's where you want to be to make the USL League One playoffs. That foul called on Perez.
That's the initial one. Lou Young, but clumsy, and then Perez came in here and just catches Shaw from behind, just back of that left leg. A little bit clumsy from the Frenchman.
Greenville coming off a massive 3-2 win over Charlotte. Sent back in. Mikey Maldonado is there. Olex Anderson. His ability to beat multiple players is just incredible.
Yeah, Dean, you talked about the late goal in Richmond in midweek. It was a short turnaround coming into this one, but that one, you look at those 3 games on the road, really tough trips. You know, Richmond and Tormenta and Chattanooga, 3 really tough places to go. But if you'd have said before that to Coach John Bradford that you're going to come back with 7 points, I think it'd have bitten your hand off.
Well said.
Because last time we were here, Dean, they'd got that big win against Northern Colorado, and you're like, okay, you've put yourself back in touching distance of the #1 spot, and then to go and get those 3 results, really showing their pedigree this season.
Quality. And he's tried to work players in. You know, Olex Anderson Jr. just had a bid appearance. Might have been the difference, but you know, you got to manage the whole season as well.
Yeah, and we always used to joke, didn't we, about Olex not getting the 90 minutes, right? And now he's on there, and you wouldn't expect him to not go the 90 now. He's such a game changer for this North Carolina side.
I love that you said that, because when we talked about it, I finally said to Coach Bradford, I said, you are aware, John, that the only thing I really truly give you a go at is not playing Olex Anderson 90 minutes. He said, oh yeah, I'm aware. And so is he, by the way. Yeah. And then he did say, he's like, he's earned 90 now. So when he's playing like that, he's going to keep him out there for 90. I loved hearing that. This one sent across. I did get the sense that he wasn't too concerned about my opinion on how much he played, though, Andrew.
I think he'd had it in the ear from Olex, probably more than enough to deal with it, you know? Because we know he wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't hide his emotions. He's a major competitor, but I think now it's his fitness, it's his durability to goal the 90. Before, we always knew he could blow a gasket about 60, and because when he goes, he's so frightening and explosive and puts in a lot of work.
Frankie drops it over to Schultz. Schultz gets it back. Play it in the middle of the park. McKinnon had 4 goals in a game.
That's great work from Garrett McLaughlin, just nibbling back in behind the midfielders to win the ball for the home team.
Olex Anderson Jr. back over to Rafa. Rafa set back across. Oh! The run stopped by Perez. If he keeps the run going, he would have been onside and would have had a tap in.
Yeah, it's just a great ball out to Rafa, and you think he wants on his right, little shake and bake back to his left foot, and he just hits it into a good area. Definitely more of a shot than a cross. A shot, sorry. A shot cross, and then Luis Perez, you can see there, he just put his hands on his head, like, why did I stop?
All right, it's a hydration break here, and it's 0-0. North Carolina FC, Greenville Triumph SC. There's Olex Anderson Jr., the USL League One Player of the Month. John Hart's the USL League One Coach of the Month. John Bradford had won it a few months ago as well. Dealing with Andrew Tate, and of course, Steve Malik, Francie Gotts again, Pete Chandra, Kurt Johnson. I mean, big news coming out. Another layers of investors for the North Carolina Courage, which I think affects the entire program. And then the big announcement where North Carolina FC headed to, and again, we're going to go deeper at halftime, but headed to USL Championship. Since you and I called that last year of USL Championship to now, I mean, it's even gotten bigger and better.
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of brand new teams in there, just like USL League One. The game is definitely growing in this country. And I just think about USL League One, how much this league has improved every year. The championship continues to do that. You know, there's some rumblings and conversations about promotion, relegation. And, you know, for me, it's just a really exciting time to be around the professional game here. And new franchises are popping up around the country. And there's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for the game, which is what you want to see. And you know, I've got 3 young kids myself, Dean, and I think it's just great for them to be able to jump on the bandwagon of the train and ride it all the way to wherever it's going to go.
Another exciting part of this time of the year is college soccer starts on Thursday, the women's season, and then the following week, the men's season. And you've got George Kiefer, NC State. He's got Jamie Smith on the bench. Jamie Smith's dad, who coached at Aston Villa and Leicester City. He's been playing well. Former NC State Wolfpack star Kurt Johnson, NC State. Carlos Salwano, North Carolina, been involved with the club a long time. John Kerr Jr., that's on the men's side. And then Anson Dorrance, You got Austin DeLuse's dad, Tony, down at Wake Forest. Robbie Church over at Duke. College soccer starts Thursday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love the fall, Dean. I love the fall season. Just get me out of August, though, because right now, Dean, I've got my face is as red as can be, and it is a very hot and sticky day here in North Carolina. But yeah, so much soccer to consume. Women's World Cup, college soccer kicking off. You got the Premier League just started today, Dean. My team, Liverpool, starts tomorrow. Big game against Big Brian Ware's Chelsea. So you're spoiled for options right now.
And then what about Messi?
Oh. How many goals has he scored now? Right? It's just, it's getting a bit ridiculous.
It's incredible.
So someone was just talking to me about, they were talking about their schedule and stuff, and I can't do something on this date, this guy was telling me, because I'm going to watch Messi at Charlotte, so everyone's trying to get their tickets for that. But I heard someone had told me in his contract he won't play on turf, artificial turf.
Yeah. It's interesting. On this week's United Soccer Coaches podcast, I interviewed Christian Fuchs, who literally was a key player when Leicester City won the Premier League.
Yeah, big character.
Great interview. The guy was fantastic. He was awesome. And he talks a lot. He's got a big personality, and he talked about that, the turf issue.
Can they not do what the University of North Carolina did for the Wrexham game? Just bring in some grass and stick it on down, It's got to be worth it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm sure you know somebody, Dean, that can bring in a barrel of turf.
Here's Summersall. They need a barrel of grass. Going the other way. Greenville slots it a little bit too deep. Fricky didn't exactly look super comfortable making that run, but he made it anyway.
He's heading back quickly. Get me back there. Sometimes defenders, we get the nosebleeds the foot too far up the field we get.
Rafa. Picked up by Maldonado. Always in the right spot. Back over to Rafa.
Really push the fullbacks on right now. You got Flores and Chris Liu Young really wide and high. Maldonado just dropping in between the two centre-backs. Trying to create some different looks.
Schultz. Pilato played at Penn State. His role has increased and developed over the years as well. And that's an important part of, similar to John Bradford, what John Hartz likes to do. This one shot, oh, and a finish. Greenville takes the lead. Liam McKinnon from Switzerland makes it 1-0.
And that just seemed like it came from absolutely nowhere. An attack down the left. It's a poor header from Nelson Flores, just straight up in the ground. Ball bounces around off a somersault, straight to the feet of Aaron Walker, who finds McKinnon, and it's just the sweetest right foot connection you can find from all of about 22 yards out. What a strike. Just given a yard of space, and he beats Brooks Thompson down low to the keeper's right. First look the Lion McKinnon's had, and what a strike.
Three-time All Big East forward for Villanova. Selected to 3 All Big East teams. Led the Wildcats to the school's first ever NCAA tournament victory. Drafted by Nashville in the 3rd round of the 23 MLS Super Draft. captain of some youth teams over in Switzerland. His first season at Greenville, and got 6 goals and 2 assists.
North Carolina better hope there is not another flurry of goals from McKinnon, because it was one of his first games of the season. He rattled off 4, didn't he? So
yeah,
he took that one really well, though.
He took it extremely well. It was hard to fault Thompson there, right? I mean, no, I mean, it was finished.
Yeah, I mean, he hit it low, hard, probably somewhat unsighted. I don't think I can question the goalkeeper on that one. Just a little bit poor at the back. Flores, I think, thought he could have done better with the header. But then just real clinical dispatch from the striker. Something Dean was rummaging around in my head earlier. I was just thinking how crucial that first goal in this game could be. And Greenville haven't done a great job of keeping clean sheets, but something tells me today that they're switched on. They've got something about them.
Good tackle there from Greenville, getting it away from McLaughlin. I was just starting to talk about Pilato when, like you said, kind of out of nowhere, that ball fell to McKinnon. Pilato's going to make a run now, and he runs into Nelson Flores Blanco. Good non-call there by the officials. Walker will play it back to Schultz. A lot of possession for the team that leads it right now. 1-0, Greenville Triumph SC on top of North Carolina FC. Seventh goal of the season for McKinnon. I don't think McKinnon started the last game. I think Boyce did, actually, Andrew Tate.
Am I wrong on that?
This one came over the top, back across.
I've been known to make a few mistakes in my time, Dean, so if you tell me I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Well, only because John Hart said they were going to make one change.
Okay.
Boyce had
I feel like he'll know his team better than me.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a tweak. Not a major injury, but .40 minutes in. Maldonado's been really, really deep. And basically like playing a sweeper.
I think he's trying to get those creative midfielders in Perez and Mensingen into those attacking areas just like this.
Well said. Here is Rafa. Rafa Mensingen to Olex Anderson Jr. Nelson Flores Blanco there. Good job. Saved there by Jared Mazzola. I'm pretty sure the Mazzolas may have bought the suite right down below us, because there's a ton of Mazzola jerseys. There's Greenville Triumph signs as well. That's kind of cool.
Just good work there from Summersole, just feeding it inside to Rafa, who'd come off that left flank. Picked it up, and that's exactly what Coach Bradford's looking for there, with the fullbacks pushed on and getting the ball into those attacking players of the likes of Rafa Mensingen.
Alive by Frankie, switched by Shaw. Perez helps Lou Young, so Greenville goes backwards. Now they'll give it to Schultz on the right side. The good touches inside. He's working his way in as Frankie. Frankie gets it back. Pocket pick there by Perez. Great D. They find Maldonado. Maldonado Get it to Nelson Flores Blanco. Maldonado's going to go with him, though. Rafa's going to go. Summersaw's going to go. They'll switch it. That's a pretty good ball. McLaughlin, let's see what he does with that first touch. Not bad. McLaughlin now can take a look. Oh, and that touch got away from him, though. Well defended there by Evan Lee. Evan Lee dropped just as McLaughlin made his touch and was there.
A little loose from Garrett McLaughlin. Something you don't get to say very often. He knows he's disappointed with himself because his team has to drop the extra 40, 50 yards to defend for a second. It's really energy sapping conditions, Dean.
Oh, yeah.
So humid.
Yeah. It's extremely muggy. It's hard to explain. Like when you first walk in it, you don't feel it, but then you give it a minute and you feel it. Maldonado. Olex Anderson Jr. McLaughlin. Header sails over the crossbar.
And once again, it's that front two combination. Golex looking for Garrett McLaughlin, and it was a header in midweek that was a key goal for North Carolina FC. That time it was from the left, from Nelson Flores' left boot. And he managed to direct into the goal. That one there, just a little turn of the neck. Not able to get over it, though. But encouraging signs for North Carolina. They've had chances, Dean. I think it's been a pretty even first half. Maybe a bit more territory for Greenville. But the better chances, I think, have fallen to the home team.
That's a pretty good point. I mean, when Olex Anderson Jr. picked the pocket early, if he hits it anywhere but directly at Milazzo, it's probably in. Because he was only like 5 feet away.
Yeah, and he had Perez as well, just across the 6-yard box, who had a tap in. But like I said, he's only going to have eyes for goal at the moment. The player of the month for July.
Olex Anderson Jr. sitting on 11 goals.
They don't call him Golex because he passes them off to everyone else, do they? You know, he's got a few assists. I think he's got 4 on the season.
Yeah, he starts scoring. You want to keep taking those heat checks. Respect that.
Especially on that one, Dean. He fashioned that chance all by himself, really. Just rolled the defender.
What I like about what it's done is his play even away from the goal. Like when he checks back and his little touches, his runs, I mean, the things those other things that he's doing as well, that's making him, what we talked about earlier, finally a 90-minute player.
Yeah, absolutely. He's certainly more of a team player. I think before, when he first joined the club, he was a little bit of an individual and hot-tempered at times, but now you can see the way it's in sync with the rest of the players around him. Oh.
It's going to be a card. Olex Anderson Jr. was off to the races. Shaw's going to check on him, but a card will go to Tevin Shaw, the Jamaican.
And that was a great example of what you were just talking about, Dean. Coming back, checking to the ball, and just here he goes, picks it up, turns and drives, and Shaw stops that progress. I think it's the right decision from the referee there. Just stop the attack in its tracks. That's Shaw's job. Unfortunately for him, they're doing it illegally.
Stepped over, Perez. Maldonado, Lou Young. Rafa, good turn. Rafa can hit it. Deflected away there by Greenville. Still a chance here. We got 3 minutes of added time. We're in the added time. Nelson Flores Blanco now plays for Hugo Perez in the El Salvador national team. That'll go out of bounds. Hugo, a teammate of John Hart's for several years with the U.S. national team. Nelson Flores Blanco now playing for Hugo Perez. There's John Hart's. His wife Cindy, I'm sure, is watching. His son Ian now back in MLS after really having a good run overseas, playing for the New England Revolution. His 2 daughters also were big-time college soccer players. Their eligibility's up. I think, though, well, I know that John, Cindy, and all three kids played in the NCAA tournament. And I don't know how many families you can say that about.
I think it'd be a trivia question right there, Dean Lee.
Alex Anderson Jr. is trying to back heel it to Rafa. Somehow it stays in bounds. Pretty good defending there. 1v1 from Schultz, big body. Not much time left here. We've seen about 30 seconds or so. Knocked out of bounds.
Shaw had to get that one right as well. A yellow card, 1v1 in a wide area with Luis Perez. A chance here for the home team, Mikey Maldonado, that long throw to aim for Raheem Somersall and get the bits off him. Greenville would love to go in at 1-0, just give them that cushion to reorganize.
They were looking for Raheem. Shaw that got there first, and now Raheem whistled for the foul. That'll be the final play. Quick thought on the first half. 1-0 Greenville on top.
Yeah, really even first half. Dean, for me, the better chances fell to the home team, but it's Greenville's possession and capitalization on a loose bit of defending from the home team, and a great strike from that man, Liam McKinnon. But set up for a great second half.
Halftime, it's Greenville Triumph SC 1, North Carolina FC 0. USL League One action. We come back, we'll talk USL Championship. That's where North Carolina FC is headed next year.
Some of my most satisfying days is providing care to people that couldn't otherwise get it or afford it. You know, at the end of the day, I'm a child of immigrants. So for me, it's real. It means something.
When I met Dr. Riccobeni, that was one of the things that he said. He's like, you're gonna do the best care that you can at the best price.
You gotta try to do what's right for the people that you treat, and do it in a fashion that is both affordable, but gives them the kind of quality that they deserve.
Riccobeni Associates Family Dentistry. Changing lives, one smile at a time.
Teens are under a lot of pressure, especially when it comes to underage drinking. They may not say a word, but as a parent, you can see the signs. We can help you help your teen. Go to talkitoutnc.org. Get great ideas on how to start the conversation about alcohol. So, talk to your teen about drinking. You might be surprised at their reaction.
Back on the road. Back in the saddle. Back to the land. Back in the game. Back in the swing of things. WakeMed Orthopedics. Get back your life. And get back in the groove.
That's why Lenovo launched the Evolve Small Initiative. We gave every small business the opportunity to use Queen Latifah as the face of their marketing with their own customized video. So far, Lenovo Evolve Small, in partnership with AMD and Microsoft, has helped over 1,000 women and minority-owned small businesses to thrive. With more than $2.4 million in grants, tech, mentorship, and marketing resources. Stay tuned for what's next with Lenovo Evolve Small.
Welcome back to WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary. Halftime score, USL League One. The hottest team in USL League One, Greenville Triumph FC, with a 1-0 lead over North Carolina FC. North Carolina FC making big news this week on multiple layers. New investment for the North Carolina Courage, and then the North Carolina FC going to return to USL Championship next season.
Exciting times for the club. Made the playoffs in 2019. Key derbies coming up with Charleston and Birmingham Legion, and notable USLC East teams, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay Rowdies, and Louisville. Great to see those rivalries reunited again, Dean.
Yeah, we'll end up seeing a lot of former players circle back through here, and it's going to be incredible. USL Championship. And then what Steve Malik had to say about it as well, you know, this league has world-class talent. We're thrilled to be able to bring even higher level soccer to the Triangle. That's the owner. And the press conference he did with President Francie Gotzigan and John Bradford was impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And just really, they speak volumes about what they're trying to do. They're always looking to move the needle, improve things, and Coach John Bradford talked about all those former players reaching out and texting him. You know, we'll be interested to see what they put together next year, but for right now, things are exciting on the field right now.
Well, what I like the most is what John Bradford said is they know they've got to do a lot. So it's one thing to say to go, but that meant to me that they're going to invest in players and bring a big-time team here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got the makings of something right now, Dean. So it's almost an audition for those players now going into next season.
All right, we're going to step aside and be back with more as we take a look around at USL League One. Halftime, Greenville 1, North Carolina FC 0.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Sue here gives it a go, and Sue here from distance! How about this start for San Antonio FC? 5 minutes in, they're up 2 goals.
RGV, Davila trying to sneak one in and does! Oh my goodness, RGV, a fantastic goal!
It's a USL League One Saturday night in Cary, North Carolina, and Greenville Triumph SC. McKinnon with the only goal leads North Carolina FC by a score of 1-0. Halftime up in the perch, Dean Linke with Andrew Tate. Saturday's always busy for USL League One action as we take a look around at some of the scores and some of the games going on, Andrew.
Yeah, Charlotte, it's that top 6 versus the rest right now. Charlotte once again looking good value for 3 points there, and South Georgia, just you're expecting them to kick in and go. The current USL League One champions still not quite getting into that groove. Lexington, off that back of that win last week against Northern Colorado away, Sam Stockley's first away win of the season. He was happy to help out the home team here, his former club. And then that Chattanooga-Richmond, I know there's a really good game coming up later on between Northern Colorado and Union Omaha, so a little derby there as well coming up later on.
We started the show with a look at the standings. Remember, the top 6 make the playoffs. North Carolina FC has been in and around first place for quite some time now as they're trying to hang on there. You see, Forward Madison has an extra game played as well. That's important to look at.
Yeah, it was one of them, wasn't it? The 2 points dropped in midweek. They could be sitting really pretty on 40 right now. But the big thing for me for North Carolina was all about perspective. For them to be sitting top right now, you know, what is it, 11 points ahead of the 7th place team outside the playoffs. The key for them is to try and secure that playoff spot as soon as possible and then look to build from there.
That's really smart to look at where they are with the number 7 team, 11 points. You nailed it on the math. Break down the news and notes.
Yeah, big time for Lexington there, Sporting Lexington. And at Northern Colorado. Ates Diouf with the hat-trick, and it was an unbelievable game, Dean. It was had everything. They were 3-1 down, came back to win 4-3 late on. And the Flamingos we talked about, a really strong side. They're charging back up the table. And Jaden Nolan, a player who's been brilliant in his first season in USL League One, man of the match in that 2-1 win against Richmond. And Stephen Payne, a player we know all about, scampering up and down that right side. And Union Omaha, like I said, against Northern Colorado later on. Goals galore for the Owls. Let's see if they can rain down some more on the former top of the table team, Northern Colorado Hailstorm.
Usually if you score goals, you find yourself on the team of the week.
Yeah, and it's one of them. Like, you got Castro, player that we talked about here today, scored a couple of goals last week. But not too many North Carolina faces in there. You got former NCFC player Jordan Skelton there. Knoxville trying to piece something together. A lot of Union Omaha players in there, in Skiers, Doyle, Brewer, and Mastro Antonio. And Avalez in the goal for Chattanooga Red Wolves.
That's the USL League One Team of the Week. We're going to take one more break, come back with the first half highlights that will include a McKinnon goal for Greenville. They lead it 1-0 at the half.
When it comes to delivering high quality, affordable health care, relationships matter. And after 90 years, we're proud of the relationships we've built with you, North Carolina. We're collaborating with leaders like Vici, supporting her efforts to help schools address the mental health needs of students, and foster care moms like Gail, working with her to ensure our state's most vulnerable children are thriving, and caregivers like Maya, partnering with her to improve maternal health. From lowering costs to building healthier communities, we are committed to improving the health and well-being of everyone across this state. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina is not your typical health insurer. We're 5,000 neighbors, friends, and family working hard to make healthcare affordable, easier to navigate, and accessible for all. North Carolina is our home. We're here for you, all of you.
Weldon Mills Distillery, born from the rich heritage of North Carolina. We craft some of the finest bourbon and spirits that are destined to be discovered by the world. There are no shortcuts to excellence, and that's why our mantra is simple. Never let efficiency get in the way of excellence. The foundations of our spirits are sourced right here in North Carolina, and our commitment to excellence has led to our continued growth and expansion. We are proud to offer a broad portfolio of brands that will stand the test of time.
Bring home 7 days of savings with daily deals from The Fresh Market. Shop Mondays for buy one, get one free deals, including mouth-watering bacon and crab cakes. Tuesdays get chuck and chicken for just $3.99 per pound. Wednesdays save on shrimp and sashimi tuna.
And shop Thursdays for tasty, easy meals under $10, including $7 pizzas.
Then grab our 3-day weekend deals on the best meat and seafood, like gourmet burgers, lobster tails, and more. Don't wait to save. Shop The Fresh Market today.
Welcome back to WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, a steamy Saturday night, and Greenville with a 1-0 lead. Alongside Andrew Tate, I'm Dean Linke, and Andrew, we roll the highlights. 2 early chances for North Carolina FC.
Yeah, they came out bright. And this was one of those hopeful balls forward, but Raheem Somersault does really well to make something of it. Putting Lee under pressure, just sticks a boot, and then it's Anderson going to work. Does everything right to get the shot off, but it's just straight at the goalkeeper. You see Schultz just gets really tight and he just spins him. And you see Perez arriving on the scene there, just looking for that simple pass. But good luck telling Golex Anderson to pass the ball in that situation. But here's Garrett McLaughlin, his strike partner. You think he's going to go onto his right, shifts it onto his unfavored left, and aims at that top left corner. But it's a great save from Mazzola, who stays big and pulls it away. But then a lot of possession for Greenville, some good pressure here on OLX, no foul called, and Walker just picks it up and drives, feeds it inside to Gavilanes, who on his favoured left foot drives a little skipper in front of Brooks Thompson, who does well to get down and parry it away for a corner. But it was one of those early chances for Greenville, as they came into the game, had a lot of possession, as they see here, spreading the ball out to the left side. It's a hopeful cross in, Flores gets his head on it, doesn't get the connection he's looking for, and the ball bounces around, falls to the feet here of Aaron Walker, who cleverly lays it off to McKinnon, who finds that bit of space. One touch and then a strike with the right foot, sweet as you like, finds the bottom corner. No chance for the keeper, and 1-0 Greenville.
Yeah, 4 in one game this year. That's his 7th goal of the season. with class, kind of out of nothing, really, like you said earlier.
It was his only look in the game, Dean. I don't think McKinnon had a shot other than that.
I'm not sure about the 50-50.
Yeah, definitely more possession for Greenville. A lot of territory after those early first two chances for the away side, for the home side, sorry. But they came into it, Greenville. They showed their pedigree. Very even first half, I think. But Greenville have got the all-important goal.
Shaw does have the yellow card, and you were quick to point out as he had a tackle after that yellow card. He's got to be careful.
Yeah, that's his job, is to go out there and break things up and destroy the attacks for North Carolina. You can't change that in his game, so got to be careful, walk that tightrope.
Long distance shot of beautiful Wake-Med Soccer Park, and again, with the news that North Carolina FC headed to USL Championship, there's been a lot of new developments around this soccer park that are creeping in closer. Fenton, I mean, it's great pubs, movie theaters, good atmosphere. More and more is coming, which would really change the dynamic out here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best facilities in the country. We know that. There's been some great events here. And yeah, I think just the more it builds up around it, the more it's an experience for the family. I mean, they've done some unbelievable stuff out there, Dean. Every time I walk in, I'm like, I'd love to drop my kids off there, you know. Problem is the wife would have to look after them by herself, but that would be the challenge. But yeah, it's the whole atmosphere around it now, and you've got two quality teams on the field that are delivering a really high quality level of soccer for families to watch as well. So I'm excited for it to cool down. I think there's a lot of reason people are listening to us and watching the game at home. I'm excited for it to cool down and more people to get out here and watch the games.
Yeah, Andrew Tate representing the two. Congratulations to Sean Nahas' team, which have qualified for the semifinals of the Challenge Cup. They'll head to Kansas City just like they did a year ago. They won it last year. They got a chance to win it again. Second half underway. North Carolina FC down 1-0 as we start the second half. Greenville Triumph SC back out there in their green uniforms. North Carolina FC in their white with some light blue mixed in. Boy, the shot that this young man took in the first half was quality way downtown.
Yeah, he's a very tidy technical player. Very good creator, number of assists this season.
Ibanez from North Plainfield, New Jersey. Lee switches it to Schultz. The three in the back. Laughlin.
And they work a lot on that, Dean, just sitting like little tigers in the grass, just waiting to pounce, you know. Looking for a loose pass, an errant touch.
Walker.
The ref doing a good job of screening there.
Shaw. There's the goal scorer. And Maldonado will foul McKinnon. And this will be another dangerous free kick coming for Greenville. Early doors here of the second half with Greenville Triumph SC on top of North Carolina FC 1-0.
It's good ball movement from the Triumph. They managed to find a way to work it into McKinnon as well to get between the two players. It's a foul from Maldonado, and he gets a nice flick in the face as well for his troubles. He's all right, though.
As you already mentioned, this is the second of 3 meetings between these two teams. NCFC beat the Triumph back in May in a game that the Triumph did have more of the possession, but fell 2-1 to North Carolina FC. North Carolina FC, as we showed you again at the half, sits at first place in USL League One, but must win tonight to keep their top spot. NCFC, that one goes right into the wall. It's hit again by number 23, Cabañas.
I don't know how Rafa Mensing got that. I feel like he blocked it in the wall and then ran onto the rebound. Impressive stuff. A little bit of miscommunication, I think, on Greenville's side there.
North Carolina FC will travel back to Richmond again to face the Kickers on Saturday, August 19th, 7 p.m. kickoff at Cary. stadium. 49th minute. Well done by Perez to chest it over to Somersault. Olex Anderson Jr., good little touchback to Rafa. Rafa trying to stay with it.
It's great work from Frankie there. Coming in off that right flank and winning the ball back for his team and then winning a foul. Would love to have seen a little dummy from Garrett McLaughlin there as the ball found its way inside from Rafa. Just a little maybe over to allow Olex Anderson to receive the ball, but
throw in back to Greenville. Don't miss a minute of action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+. The home to the USL, La Liga, La Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. 50th minute. Lex Anderson Jr., Perez. Back over to Lou Young. Lou Young. Maldonado.
he's really careful. The totting up process because he was the one that was just to give the foul in the box just a few minutes ago. And that's probably what Shaw's saying right now. He's saying, why is that not a yellow? He gave me one.
That's exactly, that's pretty much it.
You lip read
on.
that, yeah. Why am I getting special treatment?
Nice ball. Boy, good idea there, too. Oh, McKinnon using his body. Well, we've got the best seat in the house up here, Andrew Tate. This one sent back across. McKinnon closed down there. And the offside flag is up. Castro was off. Boy, there were some great balls there for Greenville.
Yeah, that's something they do really, really well. They sort of draw you in, but then use the flanks and stretch you out. You're kind of playing headless chicken. You're chasing every ball. McKinnon didn't quite get the contact they found earlier in the game. But the one thing I've been really impressed with, Dean, usually when you see teams come here and North Carolina try to press them, force the mistakes, Greenville really haven't offered up much. Apart from that early chance for Olex Anderson, you really haven't seen them make any of those mistakes and give away chances from their own doing. So they've been really tidy and effective in the possession of the back.
Olex Anderson Jr. turning. Couldn't get his body all the way on it. I think it's going to be a goal kick.
His weaker left foot there, just doesn't get his foot wrapped around the left ear of the ball.
Talked about it already, but it is worth checking social media to see the drone deliver the news that he is USL League One Player of the Month. It's a pretty cool moment. That's another part of the changes for North Carolina. Seeing North Carolina Courage, their social media work and all the extra things, the little elements, getting in and out of the stadium, the food, the festival out front. There's just a lot of cool things out here.
Yeah, it's great to see some green shirts in and amongst all the North Carolina fans making that short trip from Greenville.
Good ball. McKinnon's got one. This one will go right to Thompson. He almost had the brace.
You see why Greenville have only lost one in the last 10, can't you, Dean? They just look really...
Last 11.
It's 11.
Yeah. Yeah, they look really good.
Everyone knows the role and working together.
Somersault. Oh, it takes those one little moment here for North Carolina FC. They have demonstrated quite a few times this year the ability to come back. This one is Phil McLaughlin, and how about North Carolina FC? McLaughlin ties for that one.
And Mazzola's kicking himself. He's been absolutely brilliant in this game today and in recent weeks for the Triumph. But here, Somersault had a big role today, plays it into Olex, tries to find McLaughlin, but it comes back to Somersault, who adjusts his feet well, finds Rafa, hits it with venom. Mazzola just parries it out, and McLaughlin, like the fox in the box that he is alive to the loose ball, left foot, steers it into that top corner. Great finish from the number 19, sorry.
Fifth goal of the season. He has scored in back-to-back games for the second time this season, as he scored in the 2-2 tie against Richmond as well. Here's Olex Anderson Jr. Olex Anderson Jr. thought he was fouled inside the penalty box. Another great play from 23. There's Somersault. Yavanes, it's a good player.
Yeah, it's really tidy.
Perez over to Lou Young. Lou Young looking for McLaughlin. Knocked out of bounds to be a throw-in for North Carolina FC. I just had started to say all they needed was one little special moment, and they made it happen.
Yeah, it was a great strike. Asked the question of the goalkeeper from Rafa. And just like any good striker, Garrett McLaughlin was alive to it. Did a good job to compose himself and hit the target. Captain getting the equalizer, big goal.
Well done you to point out that Rafa deserves an assist on that. That was an absolute blaster. Here's Perez. Taylor! And how about North Carolina FC? Perez, left foot, 2-1. North Carolina FC on top.
What a strike from the Frenchman. It's one of those throw-ins from Mikey Maldonado that just causes a problem, and it falls to the wrong man for Greenville. Louis Perez, great first touch, and he just caresses it around some green shirts. Jared Mazzola's unsighted. Bent it all the way around. Olex Anderson's in the way as well. And Mazzola scrambles, but he can't get there. And he finds the side panel, and in a matter of minutes, team, we've gone from trailing 1-0 to North Carolina on top 2-1.
Seventh goal of the season for Perez, a player that John Hartz had mad respect for. In fact, he was down there talking to him moments before the game even started. There's Perez right there with another brilliant touch. Somersault trying to find Olex Anderson Jr., and Perez is down. The referee didn't see him.
And you know who the man who committed that was, Dean, right?
Was it Shaw?
It was Shaw, yeah. Certainly left an impression on Louis Perez. I think it'd be harsh because 2 fouls on Shaw and he'd have 2 yellows, but it's the mercurial Frenchman for the North Carolina Football Club gets clattered here. Just gets there a little bit quicker, just gets that toe. Oh, right on the top of the foot. That is a sore one. And you've seen yellow cards given for it. I think Shaw can thank his lucky stars that one didn't come.
This lucky fan just won a $25 gift card to the Fresh Market.
Certainly no consolation for Louis Perez, other than the fact his goal has put his team on top.
Great job by Ian Lang on a replay to find that, give us that good look. Joe Ferrara, our director, Paul Beam. I mentioned Ian Lang, Ryan Moeller, Tanner King, Mark Dry, Brian Ware, John Zimmer, Nick Accardi, Ryan Gibbons, and Ethan Ferrara, part of the crew here, bringing you USL League One action from WakeMed Soccer Park. When I said all it takes is one moment, I also mentioned, Andrew, and I'm not looking for credit, but they have done this a lot. They have been behind and whatever, I mean, on multiple occasions and come back with a spark in the second half.
Yeah, I think they're right up there. They may have the most points from losing positions out of any team in the league, to be honest. They've shown that character. I think in previous seasons, Dean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we may have felt that at times, you know, they may be leading, or you always felt there was a little bit of
the opposite.
Yeah, you always felt a goal was coming, it was just when.
Castro drops it, McKinnon. Walker will push it wide. Ibanez. And that's what you want to see. Go up and get it and bring it down. 2-1, North Carolina FC.
And they were goals out of nothing as well, weren't they, Dean? I mean, the strike from Rafa's just a 25-yard, just fizzes it at the keeper, asks the question, and then very similar to the goal for Greenville, the ball just drops on the edge of the box, and it's just a great strike from Perez. I'll tell you what, we didn't say Chris Lou Young's name in the first half, Dean. I think I can remember one time I mentioned it where he made a foul, but he's really helped them down this right-hand side a little bit. It's great to see him sort of getting into the game from an attacking standpoint, because we know what he can offer.
Yeah, you know, I'm a big fan of the way he plays. I just like how his demeanor always stays the same. But really, the story of this team, in fact, going back to John Hart's keys, is worried about that front four, and the numbers on the front four now are just amazing. You look at Olex Anderson Jr., 11 goals and 4 assists. Louis Perez now 7 goals and 1 assist. Rafa Menzigan, 9 goals and 2 assists. Probably should get credit for an assist. And it was actually Rafa that was wide open when Olex Anderson Jr. turned it over, and he would have had a sitter on that one earlier. And then McLaughlin now with 5 goals and 6 assists. That's great numbers from those 4 players.
Yeah, absolutely. You need your attacking players contributing with those numbers and stats, and they're certainly doing that. And then it's the other part of the game that they're doing as well. The work rate for the team off the ball. Oh, just overhit that one, I think.
Perez.
No.
Will run it down. Lou Young. Lou Young wants it back. Good job by Lee on the shield. Ooh, Nelson Flores Blanco. Good idea. Got his pocket picked, though, and Greenville coming the other way. Good job there by Frankie to take it away from Nelson Flores Blanco. Castro. Ibanez putting some pressure on Thompson. Castro had just a couple bright moments, but for the most part, North Carolina FC's done a good job against him.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't really say his name much. There's a couple of balls in the box where got to be careful. Oh, that's not a good sign for North Carolina with Louis Perez down. Change is coming. I think he scampered for that ball, didn't he? I thought he was going to be okay, Dean, but it looks like that stepping on from Tevin Shores.
I think that's
ruled him out.
Yeah, well done.
Hopefully it's nothing serious. Sometimes with those, it can be a metatarsal or something that's gone, you know, but hopefully it's just a bruise to the foot. Don't want to take any chances with Perez and the form he's in.
Reached over hyper wellness substitution for NCFC in the 62nd minute of play. Coming on the game number 13.
Another goal for Louis Perez. Luis Arriaga will come in. Arriaga had pretty much held down that starting role. As you said, Summersall just came back from that Gold Cup with such great form. So does that change the shape at all? Or
it's a good question, Lou.
Yeah. Maldonado. Be a throw in. Good hustle there from McKinnon. Familiar sound if you've been out to WakeMed Soccer Park, the train rolling through. That might be one for the books, Andrew Tate. If you get some free time, go back and listen to every single game and see if there's at least one train that runs through here, and I bet there is. Good luck with that.
Yeah. I'll see you in a few years.
Garcia will drop it over to Fernandez.
I'm on it, Dean. Looks like Arriaga's just slotted into that attacking midfield spot. So maybe a little shift to maybe a front three. McLaughlin's definitely more to the right-hand side, so with Anderson playing through the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, McLaughlin might even, I mean, I like that you're calling it front three. It might be even just a one. But up 2-1, love to see them keep coming with three. Let's see. Here's Lou Young. Arriaga makes a good run. Arriaga, oh, he dummies it, thinking that McLaughlin was going to keep on running.
It was such a good dummy. He fooled Garrett McLaughlin, I think, at the same time.
Sweet treat or a mixed drink courtesy of Walton Mills. Make your way over to the new Southwest Sweet Spot and Beer Garden in the far post behind section 110. Last call of the 75th minute.
Longtime PA announcer Mark Calloway talking about the beer garden they have here at North Carolina FC, another great addition.
That's why McLaughlin's playing, dropping into midfield and helping out.
Yep. Arriaga, can he run it down? It's a little bit too late as Evan Lee gets there. And McKinnon pushed from behind on Maldonado.
I think that speaks volumes for Garrett McLaughlin. No, not that he's not as good a striker as Olex Anderson, but the work rate that he does off the ball and the willingness to help the team out in whatever way he can. There he's almost playing like a right midfielder, tracking back in there, doing the job. That's why he's the captain.
John Hart's going to make some changes. I mentioned the former NC State Wolfpack defender Jamie Smith from Birmingham, England. His dad coaching over in England with two top clubs over there. He's going to come in next opportunity, as well as Coutinho, the Brazilian. Smith will make his presence felt, I'll tell you that.
He is the ball from Maldonado.
Olex Anderson Jr. just to step offside. Big time ball.
Absolutely, yeah. You can just see Maldonado just lines it up and puts it right into a great area over the centre-back's head. I didn't see Anderson offside there. He must have just been a little lazy getting back on.
Olex Anderson Jr. had more than a cup of coffee in the MLS as that one comes across. Drops back in here. Greenville looking to tie it up. Alive here to Walker. I wonder if they'll take Shaw out. Maybe that's where Smith will come in and sit. You give Smith the bonus of having no yellow cards, he may take it. He's not afraid to get stuck in.
Trying to stay switched on here in North Carolina. Greenville, they worked the ball really well. They showed in that first half. They just need a little half chance. And
looking for Castro. There's McLaughlin doing the work on both sides of the ball. Captain Obvious here, Andrew Tate, but way too much time for North Carolina FC to just bunker in. Way too much time.
Well, we saw that a little bit, didn't we, in the last game here against Northern Colorado. They sort of just made it difficult, added that body in midfield and
put 5 in the back.
Yeah.
Right at the end?
Yeah. It was one of them, wasn't it? It
were getting overrun, and it just seemed that things weren't quite clicking that day, and it just seemed natural to, you know what, we've got the lead, let's get the reinforcements in there, try and stifle some of the attacks, make it difficult at least. You've always got Alex Anderson in the transition, so it worked out that day. And North Carolina, they're a different animal these days. In previous years, they'd give up soft goals, but now you look at them and you see there's a lot more confidence and organisation and togetherness. And not the oldest team in the league, and they're growing every year. And the one thing Dean just talked about, that move to the championship, a lot of these players every year, I think Coach Bradford's talking to them, they feel like they're championship players. You know, they feel like they should be playing for a USL Championship team. So they've got a great chance here with the club that they're at now. So they've got to prove that day in and day out.
What a great point. And I feel like you and I will do that more and more as we wrap up the season here, and hopefully a push that will include the playoffs. I can't see any scenario where North Carolina FC is not in the playoffs, so we hope that means, you know, more opportunities for us to look at him. But as I'm looking down, I'm saying, yeah, he could make it. He could make it. You know, I'm doing it for more players than I thought I would.
Yeah,
which is good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then when John Bradford, he said it at the press conference, and he said it when I talked to him yesterday, the amount of former players that left when we made the move to USL League One that have reached out to say, hey, my contract's up next year. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Here's Greenville. Shaw. Drops it back over to Frankie. Cross again. Alex Anderson Jr. trying to find McLaughlin. They kept Shaw in, so Smith, who is more of a defender, not a holding midfielder, it was just straight defender for defender. And I bring that up because Shaw does have the yellow card. So here's Smith. Tino, this one, it's a head injury. Yeah, hit Somersault in the head. Unfortunately, it was a North Carolina FC player that, it was Garcia that popped it. Somersault in the wrong place at the wrong time that time.
He's right on the nose, I think. Painful one. Sirius XM. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
For more details, and every ticket purchase includes a free ticket to the NCFC.
2 goals for North Carolina FC in the second half to take the lead over Greenville Triumph SC by a score of 2-1.
Farewell tour continues on August 26th.
News popping all week from the franchise. Owner Steve Malley, President Francie Gotzigan, new investors, and then the announcement that this team right here returning to USL Championship next year. And Charleston Battery, now led by Ben Pierman. That'll be a good one. Always fun to go to Charleston. And Pittsburgh, they got the babyface assassin, Robbie Mertz. They got some good players. Tampa Bay Rowdies, they have Aaron Keane, former big-time player here. And Louisville's always there.
Yeah, it's great to be rubbing shoulders with all these great teams. And I remember, Dean, the last USL Championship game I think I called was Birmingham Legion, I think, here in the playoffs. I just remember that game like it was yesterday.
Third minute. McLaughlin and Perez, the goal scorers here in the second half. Perez has that boot off, and it came directly from Shaw. I mean, it was all cleat on that foot.
Yeah, you can see he looks in a lot of pain. He just goes down the tunnel there with the trainer.
Maldonado. McLaughlin got a little touch on it. McLaughlin fouled. Maldonado, just his understanding of, okay, now it's time for me to do a little more, you know, just the way he clicks it on. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, we saw him last year, didn't we, playing for forward Madison, and he was more of a wide player in their system, and he was so all action. And I think Coach John Bradford just saw in him just the discipline and the role that he could play here, and he slotted in seamlessly.
Nelson Flores Blanco tries to keep it alive. So go off of Menzigen and come back to Greenville, so Castro will throw it in.
The concern for North Carolina, Dean, is just that midweek game, right? It was a really tough game against Richmond. Had to defend a lot towards the latter part. The fatigue that could kick in, especially from looking at Maldonado there just jogging back in alongside Somersault a few moments ago. Greenville didn't have that midweek tilt. A little bit fresher. Will that change what happens in this opening latter stages?
Here's Frankie. Frankie, I actually thought he was fouled as well. The referee says no, but Greenville's still got the ball anyway. North Carolina FC with 2 in the second half, lead it. Somersault somehow keeps it alive. Good little touch, Arriaga. Lou Young under pressure, picked off by Frankie.
Tidy player, isn't he, Frankie? Just tight spaces, just manages to wriggle out of it, always keeps that ball on the shoestring.
He's tidy and he's also tough. Yeah, he's got some bite. This is going to go out of bounds.
Tell you what, just going back to that moment a couple of minutes ago, that one from Fernandez, just sticking it on.
Let's take a look at the 2 goals here in the second half for North Carolina FC.
Big moments. Somersault trying to find Rafa, sits up nicely and he just lets fly with that right foot. Mazzola couldn't do much other than just steer it out into the dangerous area, and Garrett McLaughlin was alive to it. And then just a couple of minutes later, maybe even less, Louis Perez alive to the loose ball. Great touch, even better finish as he bends it around a few green and white shirts and finds that bottom corner. Turns the game right on its head.
Well, and it was off of Shaw's head, ironically. It was the great throw-in from Maldonado. It was not a great header from Shaw that fell to Perez, and then a brilliant finish for Perez. I say all that because then later Shaw would pretty much end the game for Perez.
I don't think there's any intent in it.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but just right on the top of that foot, really painful one. Hopefully there's nothing serious and something that will stop him getting back in the team in recent weeks, because he's been such a key player this season.
Olex Anderson Jr., that extra burst.
Great defending from Schultz. Not too many players can live with Olex Anderson when he shifts into overdrive there. Does well to just poke it out for a corner.
Well, you start to think about the form North Carolina FC is in. If they can hang on and get these 3 points here, get Navarro healthy. Cervania is almost back. They'll have some weapons, and they'll have a pretty steady starting lineup as well.
And Simon Natala didn't, the striker, they're trying to work out some visa issues there, but they've definitely got the bodies. Hopefully they keep players fit and healthy, because they're finding a way. They're finding a way to get the results, no matter who they're playing. I said those 3 away trips that they went on, Dean, I didn't see them coming back with 7 points, that's for sure. Undefeated. And they're disappointed not to come back with 9 after that late goal in Richmond midweek. Tireless work from Garrett McLaughlin again, just pressing 3 Greenville players.
Greenville with only 1 loss in 11, but they are facing, I mean, I feel like you say it no matter who you're playing, but a really tough schedule is they've got, I believe, 4 of their next 5 games against top 4 teams, including this one.
I say it every time though, Dean. I look at the fixtures and I'm like, oh, that's a tough trip, or that's a tough game. There's just no games that are gimmies.
Greenville, 4 of their next 6 games against the top 4. Oof. Their last 6 games, they face only 1 team in the top 6. So if they can get through that with, you know, some level of points, like you just mentioned, the fact that North Carolina, he got 7. John will probably have a number in mind. John Hartz, that is. Good season though for North Carolina FC. And I think another trigger point to what we've been talking about all week, and that is the move to USL Championship. The way they've been playing on the field, another trigger point.
I think Coach Bradford talked about at the press conference that training's been a little bit sharper this week since the news broke. You know, just not that they needed a boost with the form that they're in at the moment, but just another positive vibe and message to send to the players, something, the ambition, they're all ambitious players, an ambitious club, and continue to move in the right direction.
We talked about it last game. John Bradford and his wife had just celebrated an anniversary, but then they've got the 3 kids that are at, whether it's the Courage they're playing or North Carolina FC. I mean, this will shape their life in the most positive way ever.
Yeah. Should build some apartments here, Dean. You know what I mean? I'm sure they'd buy one.
That's a great idea.
They've been obviously on the road the last 3 games, Dean, but walking back in today, and it's just a great place to be, isn't it? Just the manicured fields that are cut with scissors, it feels like. And
yeah, it's been that way since day one. It was open for the original Carolina Courage way back in 2000.
I don't know if I'm just an oddball, Dean, but whenever I drive in or I'm going past, I see a nice soccer field, I'm just, oh, let's look at that, right? So there's something about it. I don't know if the viewers have the same feeling when they're driving along. I know I can be driving along a country road and I see a nice, oh, look at that, who plays there?
Well, that's why we love having you in the booth. You live it, you eat it, you drink it, and then you do such great work for the rec program for NCFC youth as well. Andrew Tate, it's great to have you up here.
Appreciate that, Dean. Likewise.
Right side here, 82nd minute. Speaking of that, we do want to send our very best wishes to the top man, Jorge Acuna, our VP of Broadcasting, who had a death in the family and has to miss this game. We send our deepest sympathies to him and his family. Always miss seeing Jorge around and hope he is back soon. Sending our best from North Carolina to the Acuna family. Here's Smith. Smith, shot from distance. Flick's going to come in for John Bradford. Meanwhile, John Hart's going to make 2 more changes as Evans and Labovitz.
Two attacking changes.
Fans, put your hands together for Garrett McLaughlin. The score has a substitution for NCFC in the 83rd.
So Flick's going to come on for McLaughlin. McLaughlin, you talk about putting in a solid shift every single time, that man.
Yeah. And that was it. Olex was the man sort of saved in midweek, knowing that this game was coming up. He was the one that sat on the bench and came in late on. Garrett McLaughlin started that one. He's worked tirelessly today.
Try to do it every game, but want to definitely thank Brian Ware for his incredible work, research on USL League One. I think he's one of the best out there.
Also coming out of the game, number 8.
Here's Rafa.
Walker. Coming in number 19, Benson Evans, 83rd minute.
Bath will not be disappointed if the game just continues at this sort of flat level and not much to talk about.
Castro.
They defended so quite well this second half, Dean, haven't they? They've not really said Brooks Thompson's name much.
Nope. Just there right now. Said sheesh. Bounced off of Evans and almost found its way past right as you talked about Thompson.
See it here. Just the ball in behind Evans. Fresh legs comes on, puts Garcia under, just flicks off his knee. That would have been a freak goal.
That's for that long, rangy body, though, of Thompson. It's our first look at him here at Wake Med Soccer Park. John Bradford had alluded to the fact that when Holiday went down, then Saunders went down, Trevor McQueen did fine, but that they were looking for another goalkeeper, and they found one that eventually was through the Philadelphia system, but as you mentioned, he had been other places as well. A couple times we thought maybe he should have caught the ball, but other than that, he's been pretty good.
Yeah. Especially some of those early set pieces that Greenville had. He was dealing with them, snuffing out the danger. Especially for a young lad coming into senior football. No better way to learn than on the job.
You know, the more I think about it, USL League One, when you think about the Richmond Star, Terzaghi, this one back here, Olex Anderson Jr., Olex Anderson, oh, a swing and a miss. Falls to Rafa and deflected out. It'll be a corner kick, though, corner kick, North Carolina FC.
Great work from Anderson using his body, and Flick gets to there, gets his foot to it, and then Anderson's trying to get it, just get a little bit of half yard of space, doesn't get it. Great disguised pass looking for a teammate. Don't think he was meaning that.
Here comes a corner kick for North Carolina FC. Somersault.
Great work from Smith.
Tremendous work. Thompson, well positioned. And you're right, like moments like this, they'll take it. North Carolina FC will take it.
The game's just a little bit stretched now for Greenville. Obviously, you make a host of changes and you kind of lose that rhythm and understanding. But it does make the game a little bit more erratic. North Carolina want it to be very straightforward.
This is dangerous. Thompson turns it over. Look at Rafa. I'll tell you what, this guy is good. He's been good from the start, got hurt a little bit, and has been red hot again. Rafa Menzigan, a tremendous pickup for North Carolina FC. And that's what I was starting to talk about, Terzaghi. I mean, there's a ton of players in USL League One that could easily be on USL Championship rosters, but love the USL League One, love the cities that they're in, love what it's all about.
And that's the one negative, isn't it, with the move to the Championship, is that you'll lose some of these other rivalries that have been really good and productive, and some of the talents. You know, just looking at the Golden Boot race every year, Dean, you look at that now with Trevor Arman, who's obviously running away with it at the moment, but you got Terzaghi snapping on the heels now, Castro's in there, Olex Anderson, Garrett McLaughlin should be in there just based on work rate and what he does for the team. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the top 5 at some point. 2 goals this week.
Back-to-back games. 8-game unbeaten streak for NCFC, trying to make it 9. The 4 wins and 4 draws ties the longest in club history, set way back in 2011. This team started in 2007. That's Brian Ware at its finest right there. So this one sent in. Trouble, still loose, and a whistle As contact to Thompson, he'll always earn that whistle. Oh, I don't want to jinx it, but 89th minute, they can set a new unbeaten streak here at 9 if they can hang on. We got there.
Yeah, it's a great header from Smith back into the danger area. Greenville player gets up really well, and more often than not, when you see the players clatter into the goalkeeper, you're going to see a foul given. Didn't really see much wrong with that, to be honest. The keeper's just underneath him, but no complaints from North Carolina as the danger has subsided.
Last time Greenville lost was 1-0 on July 19th at Charlotte. It was on the last kick of the game. Other than that, they have 6 wins and 4 draws coming in. Just 1 loss in 11 games. But they're trailing now as we're in minute 90. We had another hydration break. What's your guess here? You're usually spot on, Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I was thinking 5 or 16. You said 5, I'll go 6.
Okay.
I think of the Perez injury, a host of subs. Oh. I saw a flash of 5.
I think I did too.
You're any idea?
Finally.
That's the funny thing with the Premier League at the moment, Dean. They've been talking about they're going to like the Men's World Cup at added time, where you're going to the Community Shield last weekend. There you go, Dean. Congratulations.
5 minutes. It's going to feel like a long 5 minutes. Keep going, though. Finish your thought.
Yeah, so no, just going back to that, like the Men's World Cup from back in the winter when they added, 10, 15 minutes on to games, which what they thought was lost. So it was a really strange one. I guess the Premier League now is going to go to that, and they're talking about player safety and things like that. So it's going to be really intriguing to see these games that go, an additional quarter almost.
Yeah, well said. I mean, to me, the theme of everything, and even that story, is with the World Cup coming here in 2026, you see everything else that's going on. Of course, Messi, and I mean, soccer is going to become maybe the #1 sport at some point. Who would have ever thought you would have said that here? Yeah. I mean, the World Cup is going to be massive in 2026.
Yeah, it won't be the sport it was when I moved here 20 years ago, when everyone just said, oh, I used to play soccer when I was a kid, when I was 6, Now there's a lot more kids that fall in love with it, FIFA and all that good stuff, fall in love with it and stay with the game.
And really, we've talked about Messi, but for me, USL's role in this the entire time has just been a model of consistency. I mean, the expansion every year in all of the leagues, the level of play, the times that they beat MLS teams in the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup, all of it happens every single year.
Yeah. That's it. There's fine margins, isn't there, in the levels, and MLS, USL League One, and there's some great clubs, great players, lots of hidden gems.
Alex Anderson Jr. still putting in some good work. Smith will run it down. Still time for Greenville to tie it here. We are in the 93rd minute.
Dean just reflected on the game, the last home game here against Northern Colorado. When I left, I was thinking about it. It was like just such a professional performance was the way I thought about it. It was mature, it was professional. They weren't lights out, they weren't brilliant, but they found a way. And very similar today, just not been brilliant, taking the chances.
Rafa loses the ball. They're kind of lucky there. But really, short of that, North Carolina FC is doing exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, just taking the chances. They've created some good ones. Not overextended themselves. They don't get too high or too low in the moments in the game. Too emotional. Just mature, I think, is the word I like to use with this group at the moment. And just they know their jobs.
Coach Bradford's been chirping at them at times there, especially the last couple of minutes here. Do your jobs, get back in, defend.
Summersaw, waiting for somebody to join him. I love how you just said the do your jobs thing, because I know you're busy, but if you do have a chance to listen to my interview with Christian Fuchs, I asked specifically about Leicester City, right? The odds on that, and it was the same year that a certain person got elected president, where if you doubled down, you would have won like $50 million, you know, on the whole notion. But I just said why, and he said the changing room. Like, it started in the changing room. You had guys that bought in, whether it was player number 1 or player number 25. And when you go back and reflect on them winning that Premier League, it was remarkable.
It was absolutely incredible. I don't know if I'll ever see that again.
Fuchsy was hilarious because he said, well, it starts with me. I mean, me coming to, you know, he was being funny, you know.
When is he not?
Yeah, you've heard about him with the eggs thing too. Have you seen that? Yeah.
He's got a lot of strange talents, I think. Oh, that could be a big call.
Yep, Maldonado.
Ticking down into the 95th minute.
He has not received a yellow.
No.
Yeah.
Like I said, the referee's let a lot go today. I think it's that one yellow card to show, I believe, right?
As we get ready for this free kick, quickly tell you that Copadeas takes center stage as playoff positioning heats up. The Golden Boot leader and San Antonio FC welcome Wilmer Cabrera and RGVFC with major playoff implications at San Antonio and RGVFC Wednesday, August 16 at 9 p.m. on ESPN2. Here comes the free kick. What might be the final chance here for Greenville to tie it? Goes right into the wall. We're in the 96th minute now. Looks like the referee's going to let Greenville get one more chance. Ball looped in, and there's the whistle. How about North Carolina FC? Their longest win streak in club history pushed to 9, and they beat Greenville by a score of 2-1.
Yeah, it's part and parcel of this team. They just find a way to get it done. Tough trip to Richmond this past week. Got a point. Come down here. Another home win as they extend their lead at the top of the table. Mature professional performance, and full credit to that man, John Bradford, and his players.
Well said. I want to thank Jorge Acuna, Kyle Lang, Joe Ferrara, Paul Bean, Ian Lang, Ryan Moeller, Tanner King, the great Mark Dry, Brian Ware, Ian Lang, Andrew Tate. I'm Dean Linke. Your final score from Cary. How about North Carolina FC, their first place in USL League One with a 2-1 win over Greenville.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.